Do you really need 230, 240 volt power when you're off-roading? This is a question I was asking myself. Sam over at Sam's Motor Machine did a video on this where he had I think it was a Jackery, going over the pros and cons of whether to have a built-in system in your car or a portable power station. I did comment on that video saying, yeah, all very nice, they sent it to you. It's a lot of money. The time you finish with solar panels, this, that and the other, you're looking at £2 for a setup like that. Too much for us. I'm not going to keep harping on about money, but our sort of aim for this little series of videos was to overland on a budget. So we were sort of toying with the idea. We've got a petrol generator in the garage, we could take that along with us, but it's takes up a lot of space. I wasn't going to really worry about 230 volts, but on the Range Rover you've got numerous power outlets. You've got one in the boot here, 12 volt socket. You've got two at the back of the centre console. You've got one in the box in the centre console, and then you've got the cigarette lighter in the front. So you've got quite a few options for 12 volts. So you can charge a lot of stuff up while you're driving. If you're going to be parked up for a long time, or you're going to be camping overnight for countless nights or whatever, I get disturbed one way or another, whether it's the wind or a bloody aeroplane. Anyway, you might want to think about some power. Now, as I say, money's an issue, so we went for this. This is the Bluetti EB3A. It's going to do everything we need. It's a 268 watt hour battery. You've got one AC output, you've got a DC sort of output for like cigarette lighters, that kind of thing. You've got two, have I switched it on? Oh no. You got two DC 10 amp outlets, like the little plugs. You've got two USB-A 5 volt 3 amps, and then you've got a USB-C which is 100 watts. For the input side of things here, you've got a 12 to 28 volt input there. You've got your mains charger, and you've got a breaker. All comes in at about 4.6. It might even say in the instructions. It does come with instructions. Let's see. Technical specifications. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Should have done my research before I started this video, but in true Ben's Garage fashion, we do everything backwards here. Come on. Specifications, page 8. It's quite a good instruction booklet. Come on, weight. 4.6 kilograms, I was correct. It is a LiFePO 4, so this is a lithium iron phosphate battery. Now, when it comes to these power stations, you need to be a bit careful about what batteries they've got inside them. Just the lithium ones, I can't remember what they're called, I'll put it up on the screen. They're quite prone to catching fire. Lithium iron phosphate, not so much. Also, the charge cycles on a lithium iron phosphate battery is quite a lot higher than the ordinary lithium batteries. It does say in here somewhere, I can't remember, I think it was something like after 5,000 cycles their batteries will still be 80% efficient, something like that. But yeah, it comes with a nice handle. Oh, I did forget one thing. It's got wireless charging on the top of it as well. I'll show you all that. We'll have a closer look. Now, it does come with good instructions, and what might put a lot of people off is some of the functions on this are operated via a smartphone. You download the app and you can do the charging settings, so you can have Eco, Standard and Turbo for charging off the mains indoors. On Turbo, it just alters the wattage coming in. I've only ever done it on standard, eco, oh it might be silent actually, silent, standard and turbo. Silent you won't get any fan noise, it takes longer to charge up. Standard you get the fan cuts in and out as and when it needs to. I think I charged this up in about an hour, hour and a half. It wasn't all the way down when it arrived, but I topped it up. About an hour and a half, that was up to 100%. If you put it into turbo mode, it will charge it even quicker. Fans will be running all the time, and it does say on the app when you switch it into turbo, it will shorten the life of your battery. So I'm never going to be in any rush. We always charge things up beforehand. So why do we need this sort of power when we're out off-roading? Well, when we're off-roading we take the cameras, we've got smartphones, my drone, all these batteries, you don't want to be charging them up off your car battery when you're sat still. So with all the DC outputs on this, we can charge phones, we've got the wireless charging on top. Also, being as we're in France, summers get bloody hot. Now we're not planning on going out in the summertime because when kids are on holidays you tend to get more people about. We're a bit averse to the general public. But either side of the summer holidays it's still bloody hot. We have got an awning for the car which I'll show you in a later video. It's not the one that you might expect where you would fit on a Range Rover, but it should do the job. But with the two numpty mutts we've got that come with us everywhere, the Hobbit said, oh, you've got a fan in the garage. I thought, oh yeah, it's 12 volt. So I've wired it up, it does work. We can plug it into this and the dogs will get cooled. Obviously it's not a massive fan, but it will do the job. So just things like that. And then we've got the capability of AC power as well. Now this is 600 watts, which for the size of the unit, a 600 watt output is pretty remarkable. You can go in and, can't remember what it's called now, you can knock it so it goes up to 1200 watts. I can't remember what they call it now. There is a name for it. In true Ben's Garage fashion, we'll have a look at it after the fact. Powerlifting mode. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so the AC output is 600 watts. It will take a surge of 1200 watts. That's if you're just using something like, say like something with a motor in it, so like a drill. They have a surge. When you fire them up, the instant power that goes through them is higher than when it's running. So you pull the trigger, it'll have a surge. This will take up to 1200 watt surge, and then it will run constantly at 600 watts. It will only last for about 20-25 minutes on 600 watts, the battery, because it's not a huge battery. And for the size of the unit, 268 watt hours, you can't really expect a lot out of it. Now we don't cook with electric. Gas is plentiful in France and it's cheap, so we cook with gas. But it's going to be an ideal solution for power, whether it's 12 volt or 240. Like for the cooler box we've got, goes in the car, plugs into the cigarette lighter. If we're parked up, I'm not sure if this outlet in the boot stays live permanently. I know on the TD6 it did, we had to unplug it, but you don't want to be draining your main battery, so we can unplug it out of the car and plug it into this little unit. So we'll have a close, I'll get in close, we'll bring the app up and see what we can sort of see with it. So let's have a look down here. So you get your 12 volt DC in there, your two sockets there. I don't know if you can see the screen. So you can select each one. There's a little light there. Don't know who the light's going to be useful for, but just press and hold it and the light comes on. Press and hold it again, it goes brighter, and again you've got the SOS. That switches that off. So that's that. You've got a power button there for your AC, and you've got a power button there for all your DCs. and also if you want to use the wireless charging, you're going to have to put the power on as well. I don't know if you can see the screen. So it's 0 watts going into it and there's 0 watts coming out. There's a 98% battery. I will just put my telephone on. I'll have to switch the DC on. So the DC light comes up there. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in this. So if I pop that on top now, there you go, it's charging. Pop my phone on. And there you go. So I will just bring up the smartphone app and show you what you can do with the smartphone. It's good for monitoring and all that kind of thing. So we're just going to go to the Bluetti app, and then we're going to have to connect it up. It's all done by Bluetooth, offline mode. There we go, we'll click on that one. And there it comes up. So we've got, obviously we're not using any power at the moment. Power off the device. You can switch the power off with the phone, but you can't then restart the inverter. So this is basically telling me we're at 98%. There's 0 watts coming in from solar panels because we're not connected to the solar panels. There's 0 watts from the grid, and there's nothing going out on the AC or DC. I can switch the AC and DC on with the phone, so that's on, and I can do the same with the AC as well, and that's on, and we're good to go, and it all lights up and it shows you which way the power's going. So I'll just switch both of those off, and then we'll go into the settings, which is the cog at the top. So you've got charging mode standard, you've got eco, which if I switch that on will then bring up another option of an eco shutdown in 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. I don't have that on at the moment. Whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know. That's that. So then we've got the LED light, which I can switch on from the phone. We've got power lifting, and then it'll say suitable for power heating devices, purely resisted loads, 1200 watts max. So anything with a motor, you don't really want to be using it. Anything computer wise that's sensitive electrics, you don't want to be using the power lifting mode on. The rated output remains, you know, that's for resistive loads to 1200 watts. The rated output remains at 600 watts. Do not run fridges, air conditioners and other heating devices within an inductor or motor. So I shall cancel that, we don't need that on. And that's pretty much it for the app. But that's how you can change your charging modes and you operate your power lifting and all that kind of thing. So, you know, you need a smartphone for anything now, don't you? We got one because I had to, something I wanted like this needed a bloody iPhone or a smartphone. There you go. So that's how that works. Now, the one thing that I will say about this Bluetti thing, if Bluetti are watching, bear this in mind, it comes in the box with a set of charging cables for a solar panel. It's got that sort of plug that goes into the inverter, that for your panels. It also comes with an AC charging cable, so plug that into your wall, plug that in the front of the box. Now this is good because it doesn't come with a power brick. It just plugs directly into the wall and it's like an old-fashioned kettle lead. Having said all that, it doesn't come with a 12 volt socket charging lead. Now if somebody's buying one of these units, they're likely to already have a car and they're likely to already want to be using it in their car. So I would say it might be better to either chuck this in the box and charge a little bit more, or put this in the box rather than the solar cables. Yes, I know some people might want solar, but have this as an option rather than this. Just my little opinions on it. But that just plugs in the front here, and you just plug that into your cigarette lighter socket, power socket, outlet, whatever. It's thoroughly good. We don't, as I say, we don't need a lot of power. Like Sam with his, I think he was going to be, he's talking about cooking on an electric induction hob type thing. We're going to be cooking on gas, whether it's the little stove with the aerosol bottles in it, or the dual camping stove we've got that has the big camping gas bottle. So for us, power is for keeping batteries charged up, keeping your phone charged up. I mean, a lot of the batteries and phones we can charge up while we're driving. As I said, there's numerous power outlets on the car, and so I always have the phone plugged in and the iPad, so that because the iPad's running for the navigation. The phone, I sometimes record a track for Wikilocks or something like that, so that'll be plugged in as well. They're both going to be charged up while we're driving. Other batteries, camera batteries, you can charge up, but you don't want to be charging up off. If you've only got one battery on the car, you don't want to be using that while you're parked up. So that's the idea of this. At the moment it's on sale, €299, and for the size of it and the power output, I don't think you can go wrong. So if we was to go out camping and I wanted to do some editing while we're out, I'll take the laptop. I can plug the laptop into that. I don't know how long I'll get. It does give you some things somewhere, I believe. As again, yes, I'm well prepared. Now that's all in German. Ain't gonna be a lot good to most of you, is it? Me included. It must have been in the advertising that oh, here we go. Discharging. It'll charge a MacBook up for 5 to 6 times. I'm assuming on the AC side of it. A drone 5 to 6 times. A refrigerator for 3 hours at 90 watts. Power tools 2 to 3 hours. Camera 10 to 15 times. An iPhone 13 12 to 17 times, and that's at 13 watts. So yeah, plenty of ways to charge it, plenty of ways to use the power. Solar input is maximum 200 watts, I believe, so bear that in mind if you've already got a solar panel and you want to. It's 12 to 28 volts. They both plug into the same socket on the front, so whether you plug it in with a car lead or the solar panel lead, they both go in the same. They're both the same plug. Thoroughly good bit of kit. I'm not affiliated. I actually paid for this. I did get in touch with them and say, have you got any discounts available for my subscribers if anyone wants it? They never got back to me, so I tried, but there you go. So not affiliated or anything. I will put an Amazon link, which is an affiliate link, so if any of you buy it through Amazon, we get a little percentage, but it doesn't cost you any extra. And as they say, every little helps. It helps us sort of keep these videos coming with products like this when they don't get sent to you. I'm not complaining. It's very nice when stuff gets sent to you, but yeah, we bought this. So that's my little overview of the Bluetti EB3A. It's a nice compact little unit, does the job. It's going to do us perfect. 12 volt fan. If you know, for whatever reason we was out camping, we could put some 12 volt LED lights up and just have a thoroughly good time out on the roads. No. And then we can have a thoroughly good time out on the trails. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.